Hello, I'm John Fenton. I've been a part of championship teams and teams that weren't very good, losing teams that didn't quite get it right. And I sometimes wonder why there was that difference. I've been part of one of the most prolific and successful college football programs in the country. But I'm not here to talk to you today about football. You're probably part of a team right now. You may even be the leader of that team. And today I want to share with you my thoughts on leadership and teamwork. Now take a journey with me. Imagine you're back at your company or organization right now. Everything is working perfectly. Your employees get it. They're empowered. They feel they can speak up when they need to. They understand the values, and they align with the values and the vision of your company. They understand and align with the culture. Your customers get it too. They extol the virtues of your company. Everything's working. Everything's in harmony. When I think of companies and organizations of the 21st century, that's what I envision. What about your company? There was a CEO who had been very successful. He'd been a collegiate athlete, and he had the grit to succeed and win. And he was a winner, not a quitter. But one day, life got in the way. Life hit him right between the eyes. He felt overwhelmed, and it was hard for him to admit that. Nothing was working. The harder he worked, the less he accomplished. And to top it off, sales were flat. The bottom line was suffering. His health was in peril. You see, his heart wasn't working quite right. And to top it all off, his father was admitted to hospice. He knew he needed to do something different, but he wasn't quite sure. But then it happened. He was leaving a meeting in Midtown. And as he was walking back to his office, he noticed this yoga and Tai Chi center. And he said, "Let me go in and check this out." And so he went in, and he met a young man dressed all in black. Not his idea of what he thought a yoga center should look like. But he met with this young man, and they sat together talking. And as he looked up, he saw this big banner on the wall. And the banner read, "Tai Chi, the way of limitless energy." And he thought for a moment, and he read further, and it said, "Find your center." That's it. That's what I've been missing. The CEO had lost himself, trying to be too many things to too many people. He had lost his center, and he felt like an imposter. He wasn't sure what to do, full of worry and uncertainty. He knew he did not have all the answers. And many times he felt alone. Nearly every executive with whom I work tell me they just don't have enough time. Not enough time for their lives, not enough time to even create a vision, let alone execute on a vision. Not enough time to lead the way they want to lead. Not enough time for their families. Missing out on a lifetime of opportunities and memories. I know, I've been there. This compression of time, this feeling of not enough time creates an overwhelmed feeling. An overactive mind full of worry and stress. Remember that vision of that company that we talked about earlier? I believe that to have a vibrant, flowing company in the 21st century requires a different type of leadership and a different way of thinking. But did you know that by spending less time, you can have more? More time, better results, more for your life, more for your family. So a few facts. Bill Ford, the chairman of Ford Motor Company, does it. Phil Jackson, the prolific and professional basketball coach, does it. Oprah does it. Aetna, the chairman and CEO of Aetna Insurance Company, does it. What is it? Through mindfulness and meditation practices, they have learned to be better leaders, and their companies are all the better for it. what if I could show you how to be a better leader and have more time? What if you could create more time in your life? Say 4 hours a month, 48 hours a year, what I call time equivalent. That's 48 hours, that's more than a week of vacation, extra vacation, more time to spend with family. I have studied methods of mindfulness for nearly 10 years. These are methods based on 10,000 years of wisdom. And I've trained and worked with some of the best masters in the world. And I've integrated this knowledge and this wisdom into the latest thinking on leadership and teamwork, and created a program called Leadership Self-Mastery, the martial art of leadership. The CEOs and executives with whom I have worked and who I've helped have greater focus, improved relationships, better results. How? When you're in the flow, when you're centered, when everything's working just right, you're in a state of being your best self. And when you're in that state, the people around you are in this state of being their best selves as well, including your family. You see, everything flows from you. Now, this all has to do with brain science, actually. How the limbic system, the middle brain, interacts with the neocortex, the thinking brain, and the brain stem, and how they interact and connect with the body. And in our subconscious, the seat of our emotions, the emotional brain, the middle brain, senses some danger, perceived or real danger. But the brain doesn't distinguish between either one, perceived or real. And it kicks in and interacts with the brain stem. And we move into fight or flight mode, survival mode. If you're in a meeting or making key business decisions or just handling the day-to-day of your life, being in survival mode is probably not a good state to be in. Essentially, your brain and your body have been hijacked, and you're probably completely unaware of that. So would you like some useful tips that I can share with you today? So I have 3 tips. Number 1, give yourself permission. Permission to have some downtime. I know it's hard. I know it's very difficult. Give yourself some permission to have some downtime. Number 2, clear 15 minutes off of your calendar right now. If you have your calendars, go ahead and do that. Take 15 minutes, clear it off your calendar every day. Even on weekends, clear off 15 minutes on your calendar. Number 3, use that extra 15 minutes to breathe. Just focus on your breathing. Breathe in gently through your nose. Exhale quietly and slowly through your mouth. Do it again. Breathe in and breathe out. Settle into your breathing. Do nothing more in those 15 minutes than focus on your breath. By stepping outside the business, you can create better success for yourself in your life just by spending 15 minutes a day. Back to the story of our CEO. He trained one-on-one with the master. He went to Sedona, Arizona and meditated. He went to the foothills of the Colorado Rockies in the snow and practiced the 12 levels of Tai Chi and Qigong. And he looked forward to his daily routine, his daily ritual of leadership self-mastery. The results, the company's bottom line improved dramatically. In top line, he grew the business 2 times, double the size of the company. His employees would later say, there was the CEO before and the CEO after he began his leadership self-mastery program. What kind of leader do you want to be? What kind of company or organization do you want to lead? Remember, everything flows from you.
What I just heard is that if you're a overburdened executive, or you're in leadership at all, and you're feeling overwhelmed and you can't get caught up, or you just starting to burn out, you need to have John come and talk to your organization, because John tells us what we have to do is learn to center ourselves, get into our core, and become mindful. He's taken courses on meditation. He can tell us about that. It's basically getting centered. So in our fast-paced world, the thing to do is to go inside of ourselves and learn how to tap that part of ourselves, that powerful part of ourselves that can center ourselves, and by centering ourselves, we can center those around us, and we can become much, much more effective than if we're trying to be all over the place, multitask. Just center ourselves. That will allow others to center themselves. We'll become much more effective and do a much better job. I really enjoy John. Has a lot of good tips, tells good stories. You need to have him at your organization.
John Fenton is a wonderful speaker. My takeaway from his speech, he talked about leadership, self-mastering, and specifically the centering of yourself through that, and how spending less time can actually bring about more results. And to me, that really hit home, because I run a small company, and there's a lot of people, but when you run a small company, you do everything. You feel like you've got to run around and do all the things that a larger company, a boss of, would be able to, hire someone to do. And so I find myself probably at the expense of my family, spending too much time doing my job. So I'm going to take his tips. I'm going to take 15 minutes a day, and I'm going to start just breathing during that time and centering myself, and see the results that I think he promises that will come about.
I like what John said. Corporate America is going so fast now. Everything is cyberspace. Everybody is stressed out and nervous. And his idea of stepping outside the business and finding your center. We find that when employees are happy and content and are rewarded and feel good about themselves, productivity always comes up. He talks about give yourself permission for downtime. Let your employees relax a little bit. He talked about a 15-minute period. That's not much to raise the bottom line. And when you do that, and breathing centers you again, and when everybody comes back into the center, the benefit will be for the whole of the company. He's got some great points.
Just heard a great talk from John. Gave a great ideas about how to use time and how time is related to leadership. And I believe time is one of the biggest challenges today for leaders. John's 3 tips was to allow ourselves some downtime. Take 15 minutes out of every day, clear our calendars, and use that time to meditate and focus on our breathing. And we need to invest in ourselves to become better leaders. Those tips are excellent for everybody. Great job, John.